Hello, we saw a lot of people from universities, but this says U.S. Naval Research Laboratory. Are you a military person?
We work in conjunction a lot with the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory. One of the people that graduated from my research lab went on to work there, so we do a lot of collaborations with them. So I work at FIU as a graduate student, and she works on my committee.
The person who would be standing here, the other person.
No, this is my project.
This is your project. In most countries, people have absolutely no idea what's going on here concerning the fentanyl, because you were working on that.
Right.
Could you maybe explain for people who are not from the United States what the very severe problem in the United States is concerning fentanyl? Because in all other countries, this is just used in care for elderly people who are terminally ill or something like that.
Right.
Not in the United States.
So as of right now, fentanyl is one of the leading causes in overdoses between people the ages of 18 to 25. It is 100 times more potent than that of morphine. So the smallest dose, the less than a grain of rice in size, can actually very easily cause an overdose. And a lot of time, not only is it you find it mixed in with heroin, so a lot of times some people don't even know that they're taking it, and then they end up overdosing on what they would normally shoot up when it comes to heroin. In the United States, we have a huge opium epidemic, a huge drug epidemic, and with fentanyl being a synthetic opioid, it's very much a prevalent part of that issue right now, where we find most overdoses coming from illegal fentanyl.
Is this the reason why you chose the topic, or were you interested in opioids or chemistry since you were a little kid, so to speak?
Well, I've always been interested in science since I was a child, but I saw the bad things drugs can do to your hometown, and that made me very interested in doing this kind of research. I also love canines, so that's why I went into more of a canine area of it, because we do a lot of canine work in my lab too.
So that means using dogs to sniff out a drug, right?
Exactly. So it kind of helped me sandwich two of my passions into one career move.
Do you have a dog, and does it smell? Can it detect drugs?
I do have a dog, but no, he can't detect drugs. Although the people in my research lab always joke that I should train him to detect drugs.
Can your dog detect cookies?
100%. I open the thing, he's running like no one's business.
We were walking around Seattle, downtown, in the past days, and we saw so many people who were in the middle of the street selling stolen goods, couldn't keep their balance, even in the middle of the target market, just were behaving totally erratic. So they were probably on opioids. Do I get that right, or what was going on there?
You can't 100% say what they were taking, but it's also not a non-possibility. So you can't 100% say that they were on drugs or they were drunk or something like that, but it is a possibility that they were on some kind of drug. Without obviously testing or doing any of that kind of stuff, you can't really tell, but the opioid epidemic is very much prevalent in the United States. It's very much a problem. It started back in the 80s with cocaine, and then it's just grown and grown and grown and grown and grown into what it is today. Actually, there's a CDC statistic that always really hits home with me. From 2013 to 2019, is actually in here somewhere in the poster. There was an increase of 45% in overdose rates, with more than half of that coming from fentanyl.
Which experience did you make in your hometown, since you were mentioning that? Did you just see friends of yours dying from opioids?
No, more people in my school. When I was in high school, we had a number of overdoses my senior year of high school. And I was already going into a degree in forensic science for my undergrad. And then when I got here and I saw some of the research they did, it really hit home as I watched through social media my hometown become more and more and more and more of the way that it was going. It just hit home a little bit, and I'm like, all right, this is my chance to do something about it. This is my chance.
Is this one of the famous towns?
No,
do you want to say which one?
No, I don't want to say which town it is.
But there are even movies about particular towns in which the opioid crisis really nearly wiped out the social and economical life of certain towns. So it's not that bad in your hometown,
It's
probably.
not that bad in my hometown, but it's a difference from when I was growing up to now. And
So it's gotten worse?
it's gotten worse from growing up to now. I'm not going to mention it. I don't want to throw them under the bus.
No,
I
of
love
course.
everybody from my town, but it's definitely gotten worse as I got older, and it's definitely something that I wanted to help make a difference in. I wanted to help decrease these overdose numbers. I wanted to help make something that will eventually help decrease the flow of traffic of fentanyl into this country, because it is the most prevalent drug right now. And through the use of canine mimics, we can eventually get there.
So I see that you're really interested also in the dog thing. So like
Yeah.
in a few years, would you prefer to be on the dog side or on the laboratory side?
It honestly depends on what goes on. I have a year left of grad school, so I'm actually looking for a job now. It just depends on where I end up, but either way, it's still helping the same goal for my life goal, which is to help decrease this opioid epidemic in the US.
Thank you very much. We wish you very good luck. It's horrible. The only time in my whole life that I saw a forensic person crying was the head of the largest toxicology lab a few years ago on stage when he was reporting the numbers that you were talking about. I've never seen that, not in the autopsy room, not in a crime scene, never. It was a toxicologist. Thank you very much.
No problem, thank you.